Welcome to the video tutorials of mechanisms by Mekanismler. There are two ways of cutting material during a milling operation, up milling and down milling, also known as conventional milling and climb milling. During conventional milling, the rotation direction of the cutting tool is against the direction of the feed. On the other hand, during the climb milling, the rotation of the cutting tool is in the same direction as the feed. One may think that this doesn't matter, as long as we are removing material from the workpiece. However, things are not that simple. For example, the name conventional milling suggests that this is the accepted way of removing materials from a workpiece, and yes, this used to be the standard way of removing material from workpieces in the past, but not anymore. Nowadays, climb milling is the accepted way of removing materials from a workpiece, except for when you have an old milling machine or you are operating a manual milling machine. Why have things changed? Before going into the details, let's first explain the pros and cons of the two ways of milling. In conventional milling, the cutting tool enters into the workpiece first by rubbing the cutting tool on the workpiece and then by gradually penetrating it. The chips produced at first are very thin and gradually get thicker. On the other hand, climb milling enters into the workpiece with a big bite, producing thick chips that gradually decrease. The consequences of these two different types of material removal methods is as follows. With conventional method, the cutting tool gradually penetrates into the workpiece such that it tries to lift the workpiece. This requires that the holding arrangement for the workpiece be very strong. On the other hand, with climb milling, the cutting tool strikes the workpiece with a big downward bite, pushing it toward the milling machine table. In this case, the holding arrangement for the workpiece cannot be as strong as the conventional milling method. With the conventional milling method, the cutting tool rubs the workpiece, causing very rapid tool wear and tear, shortening the tool's lifespan. With the conventional milling, the chips fall in front of the cutting tool, causing some of the chips to be recut and creates a marred finish on the workpiece. On the other hand, with climb milling, the chips fall behind the cutting tool and none of the chips are recut, creating a very clean-cut workpiece. With conventional milling, the heat generated moves toward the workpiece, which causes the surface of the workpiece to be heat hardened. With climb milling, the heat tends to move towards the chip. What we have mentioned up until this point shows that climb milling is preferred to conventional milling, so then why has conventional milling been the favored way of milling? The short answer is backlash. The backlash is a play between the lead screw and the nut in the machine table. In old times, machines were not precise and there were no backlash protection mechanisms. With conventional milling, because the cutting tool enters the workpiece gradually, it allows the machine table to move gradually to compensate the backlash. If we use the climb milling method in a machine with a large backlash, the sudden penetration of the cutting tool generate enormous force to push on the work table, which may cause injuries to the people around the milling machine. Therefore, anytime someone is using an old milling machine, he or she will be safer using the conventional milling method. However, for precision CNC machines, climb milling is the preferred method. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. If you enjoyed this video and found it to be useful, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. We appreciate your support.